Hey everyone, what's going on? Shad Stats here with another video. I want to take this time to introduce myself. So, I'm Shad. I have a PhD in engineering and reside in the US. I'm also a black male with a passion for rap and all things data related. In fact, my thesis was based on using machine learning to predict target features of desirable compounds. During all this work, rap really helped me to cope with the stresses of dealing with school. Who are my favorite rappers? My favorite rappers are Drake, but others include Lil Wayne, Moneybagg Yo, Roddy Ricch, Lil Baby, Gunna, Big Sean, and XXXTentacion, just to name a few. But I love all forms of rap, and I even love pop and Japanese music, but I'll talk more about that later. This is a follow-up to my original video, which is in the comments. Previously, we discussed Lil Baby being declared the rap MVP for 2020, and who could have also been possible contenders for this award based on the popularity. This award was given by Rap Caviar at the end of last year. Youngboy, Never Broke Again, releasing plenty of music, included the album Top. Playboi Carti released Whole Lot of Red, and Lil Uzi Vert released Eternal Take on 2020. And I believe that those three rappers could have also been strong contenders for this award. I also mentioned that popularity in my previous video was only one metric to examine this. So now I'd like to take a much deeper dive and just use popularity as a starting point to determine who is 2021's Rap MVP, or as I like to call it, the RMVP, based on yearly and weekly data. To do this, we'll consider three categories: popularity, average rankings on Billboard, and the number of awards won this year. Now, extracting this data proved to be quite difficult. I don't make a lot of money to spend on making the videos outside of living at the moment, so I couldn't purchase the most expensive software that exists for extracting data. But I did my best and assumed if our community can build even further, I can get better equipment and spend more time working on this. By the way, better mic coming soon, or should I say YB's mic better? No? Okay. So I put together a Python notebook that you can see here that I'm displaying to you, where I used a couple of Python packages. One is Spotify, the other is Billboard.py, and the other is YouTube Music API in order to help us extract popularity stats on who the hottest musicians were this year. So first, we'll examine the Spotify data. To do this, we examine the average popularity score on the songs from a search based on songs released this year and from the rap genre. Since all artists release different amounts of songs throughout the year, we'll look at both the average popularity score and also how many songs the artist released. So I'll complete a search based on this. Well, what did we find? Well, based on Spotify data, I looked at the top artist count of songs this year in addition to their average popularity score. When you do this, it becomes quite clear that Drake lands at the top with 22 songs and an average popularity in 2021 of 79.7, or 80 if you want to round up. After Drake, it's quite worthy to note that Don Toliver, J. Cole, Kanye West, Baby Keem, and Tyler the Creator are also high up on this list. I don't want to make any early assumptions based on this because the Billboard data will present some different results. If you look at the bar plot that I've compiled of the average popularities, Drake has the best popularity by far. But I want to also show that Lil Baby, who was the RMVP last year, is at number 15 on my bar plot, indicating that he's probably not the RMVP this year. And I think it would be unfair to give him the award because other artists are better candidates who've released new music and have served their fan bases with new projects. So why don't we take a quick look at the Billboard data? So if we look at the Billboard data, I solely consider the Artist 100 each week, from January 1st, or whenever it's recorded on that first Monday of the year, up to the point of recording. However, we can also consider songs. Now, I won't do that since there exist many songs, so I just found it easier to just look at the artist rankings on Billboard, maybe have save such an analysis for another video, and then see if that maybe lines up to what other popular voices in the industry are saying. And we'll show how often they were on that Artist 100 ranking for the past 45 or so weeks. So I kind of wrote up a code to do that. I kind of planned it out, and then I wrote the code in Python to collect this data. So let's see who came out on top. So based on this list, you can see it here. It's clearly Drake again. However, we see a shakeup of the results I showed previously. I think we should look at artists who had a max weekly ranking of 1 at any point during the year, and herein will probably lie our RMVP. The rappers here are Drake, Young Boy Never Broke Again, Kanye West, J. Cole, Rod Wave, and Tyler, the Creator. I think that it's very likely that our RMVP probably lies in these 6 artists. Now, I could include The Weeknd, as you can see here, but he's more so considered an R&B artist, so he'll be left out of the analysis for now. And I think based on just looking at genre rap, Spotify doesn't even consider The Weeknd to be a rapper. By the way, let me know if you want me to do a pop artist of the year analysis in the comments below. So, what do we see? Young Boy and Rod Wave, kind of strange that they're placed here, right? We didn't see them high up on the Spotify ranking, but they're pretty high up on the Billboard ranking. Well, it's probably due to their strong presence in non-streaming services like YouTube, and maybe they have some radio play in certain regions, but it's probably due to their strong YouTube presence and their demographics lying outside of streaming for the most part. Even so, this should count towards them being considered in the ranking. Outside of Drake, who had an average ranking of 11 on the Artist 100, which is extremely impressive, I might add, right across every single week on the listing. J. Cole and Kanye's were 38 and 43 respectively. However, J. Cole was on the list every single week in addition to Drake, which I did not even know. And for more weeks as well. So I think it makes sense to place J. Cole above Kanye just from a numbers standpoint. Young Boy is present on this list is also impressive. He had an average ranking of 26 over 8 weeks on the Artist 100. I think this warrants him being a top 5 artist this year. In addition, Tyler, the Creator, and its beautifully released discography this year, resulting in him ranking 16 weeks on the Billboard Artist 100 with an average rating of 65th. So I've kind of shown you the data and I've elaborated on it a little bit. So who's the RMVP and who are the runner-up? All in all, we find Drake to be this year's RMVP. Woo! And if this person wasn't in the race, then I think that, and this is probably a more exciting analysis to give, that J. Cole must be the runner-up. I think that had Drake not released Certified Lover Boy, and given the fact that J. Cole released his album much earlier, the off-season, it's quite likely that J. Cole would have been the rap MVP. Drake outperformed in both Spotify and Billboard numbers. It wouldn't make sense to analyze his YouTube numbers or even look at the awards to further validate this. I did see statistics that showed that Young Boy Never Broke Again actually had way more awards than Drake did this year, but I've chosen to kind of leave this out since we're kind of ending on the longer end of this video. So Drake is this year's RMVP, but it'd be boring to just hand him the award as such a dominant presence that he always has whenever he releases an album. J. Cole held his weight and is starting to look like an artist that can hold just as much position as Drake during his off seasons. So for third place, I really thought about this, and I think that we're going to be giving bronze to Kanye West. Donda being released gave him this position, but I wonder how his standing would have held without a release. In fourth place, we're going to have to give it to Young Boy Never Broke Again. I think we have to. Sincerely Cantrell and his most recent arrest and some of the popularity that he's gotten, especially with the memes on Instagram, Why Me Better, and this fan base supporting him all the way up to his release. By the way, we're going to be waiting for House Arrest Things Part 2. So I think there's a lot of exciting things to come from Young Boy now that he's released or serving house arrest. And finally, while it was tough, I think we're going to have to give number 5. So between Tyler, the Creator, and Rod Wave to Tyler, the Creator. I believe he dominated the charts for a few weeks. But similarly to Tyler, similarly to Kanye rather, did not hold onto the ranking for long. Perhaps these rankings could be improved if we only look at the rappers' performances among other rappers. But I believe the top artists in any year can hold their weight against those in other genres. And it was quite clear that Drake did that in both Spotify and Billboard data. So I don't think this would have changed the results for the top 3 artists. I think we can save such an analysis for another video. So that's what I've compiled. Drake, J. Cole, Kanye, NBA, and Tyler. Now, based on my analysis, Rod Wave, Don Toliver, Moneybagg Yo, Playboi Carti, and even Polo G seem like strong contenders for the throne in their futures with upward mobility. All in all, the future of rap looks bright with some solid contenders fighting for the throne each year. So what do you guys think about it? Any that you disagree with? Any that you strongly agree with? Also, I've been thinking about making my notebooks public where I've been writing the code for these videos. So if you're interested in that and wanting to take a look, feel free to DM me or suggest that I just make them public in the GitHub repository. Otherwise, let me know how you're feeling in the comments. If you have any more recommendations or suggestions, feel free to DM me on Twitter or Instagram. Feel free to follow if you're interested in some of the content I'll be posting there. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and like if you're intrigued by the way I wish to attack the rap commentary world. For now, Dipset.